Well, gentlemen of the press, you will all know that it all started here in Enugu. And I've not left Enugu. My family residence is still here. But because the party headquarters is at Abuja, most of my political activities have been there, especially with regard to the media. I mean, interfacing with the media. But this time, it is IGBOEZUE that has brought me into this hall right now. I am here to discuss IGBOEZUE with regard to the events, the state of Ndibo and Nigerian politics of today. But when I finish my presentation, which is not lengthy, you'll be at liberty to ask any question, even if it doesn't have to do with IGBOEZUE. So I'm not restricting you to that, but this is the paper I wish to present. The Igbo nation and the 2019 presidential election. But I wouldn't start without at least mentioning to you a few of the top people who are sitting with me here. On my immediate left is Chief Chris Ejike Dingbasa. He has other positions in so many political circles, but here he's as a chieftain of IGBOEZUE. We have Chief Lin Tobiekwe, who is also a chieftain of IGBOEZUE. But the only political gladiator here who is going for an office, and you cannot, there's no way we can cover him with under IGBOEZUE, because IGBOEZUE has, you remember IGBOEZUE husbanded the formation of ABGA. That's it. It's IGBOEZUE that also husbanded the formation of UPP. But here we have with us the governorship candidate of UPP in Enugu State, Honorable Ekene. Yeah, he's we have Chief Andrew Bizie, chieftain of IGBOEZUE, and the Anochie Iweka, another chieftain. We have Chief Okeje, Dio Okeje, and then another chieftain. Buruburu, come and stay here. This one is, he retired as a director in the Federal Ministry of Works, an architect. We are known from the university days. He's a troublesome man. But he has been my ally. Ali must go. Yes, we were part of the Ali must go activists at that time. Yeah. Doesn't look old enough, but we are all old now. So please permit me to quickly run through this message. The national leadership and members and board of trustees of IGBOEZUE Cultural Advancement Initiative have met after extensive consultations and liaison with extant Igbo associations, institutions, and the stakeholders on the state of the Igbo nation in Nigeria. We have taken into consideration the fact that Igbo people are easily the largest single ethnic group in the West African sub-region. In Nigeria, it is the largest single ethnic group in It is unarguably the second, we are the second largest ethnic group after the indigenous population in 31 states in Nigeria and the Federal Capital Territory, while constituting over 99% of the population in the five states of the Southeast geopolitical zone. It is also an established fact that the population of Igbo people living outside the 5 core Igbo states is about 3 times the number living in the Southeast geopolitical zone. It is therefore of great concern and indeed a challenge to Igbo socio-cultural and political leadership to arouse this large number of citizens with such enormous spread to a reasonable level of political consciousness in order to participate as equal stakeholders in the politics of Nigeria and the politics of the various areas where our people are domiciled. There is evidence of Igbo settlement in far-flung parts of Nigeria for several centuries, long before the creation of Nigeria as a sovereign nation. It is the conviction of IGBOEZUE that the relevance of the Igbo as a critical stakeholder and factor in Nigeria's power equation can no longer be left solely in the hands of a handful of political leaders who purport to represent the Igbo people in their public pronouncements without consultation of any kind with stakeholders. We find this too compromising and unacceptable. In this regard, IGBOEZUE has taken time to establish an effective network that has linked up all identified Igbo organizations, associations, and professional bodies to what we refer to as the Igbo national grid. It is our confirmed observation that after the great and legendary Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe led our people on the platform of the National Council of Nigerian Citizens, NCNC, to form a coalition government with the Northern People's Congress, NPC, with the active collaboration of the defunct Igbo State Union, and a similar political alliance in the Second Republic in which the late Dr. Azikiwe led the Nigerian People's Party, NPP, to enter into an accord to form a joint government with the National Party of Nigeria, NPN. Igbo political leaders have failed since then to provide selfless leadership that will chart the path for the continued political relevance of Ndi Igbo in Nigeria. It is a shame that our political leaders have been driven more by selfish interest than Igbo group interest in all their political engagements, especially since the return of democracy in Nigeria in 1999. For a long period of 16 years, Igbo leaders were misled into investing their political capital almost 100% with the People's Democratic Party, PDP. In this long period of political servitude, the PDP-led federal government, without a single exception, ensured that the entire Southeast geopolitical zone became one large area of abandoned construction works. If this is not deliberate, then what will be the explanation for the very painful fact that in 16 years there is no project that was started and completed by the PDP government in any part of the Southeast geopolitical zone? We are aware that the PDP has an unwritten policy that no Igbo person will ever be the president of Nigeria until after the passage of 150 years after the Nigeria-Biafra War. The manner with which the military junta of Abdul Salami Abubakar presided over the massive deceit of the entire Igbo people by the PDP in the short-changing of late Dr. Alex Ekweme, may he so rest in peace, in his bid to become the party's presidential candidate in 1999 is an unprecedented and biggest political 419 ever perpetrated against any race in Nigeria by a political party and its military sponsors. We shall deal with this and other related issues in the days ahead. The appointment of Igbo men and women into political offices were no less deceitful. It is even more scandalous that we had those appointments in addition to 5 Senate presidents, And still, in 16 years, there is nothing of benefit to any person in the Southeast geopolitical zone to point at, except the fact that the families of the appointees transformed their lives to some vulgar opulence, which generally assaulted the sensibilities of their fellow Igbo people. However, being faced with an impending general election, we have resolved not to stand by and watch our people misled again by putting all our eggs in the PDP basket. That option is largely responsible for our outright irrelevance in the politics of Nigeria, leaving us perpetually lamenting about our unfortunate situation, regime after regime. We grant PDP stalwarts of Igbo extraction and their collaborators the liberty to assemble at Enugu and adopt the joint ticket of Alhaji Atiku Abubakar and Dr. Peter Obi for the 2019 general presidential election. What we object vehemently is the erroneous impression that what happened at Enugu was a consensus of Igbo position, when there was no consultation of any kind beyond the PDP family. For the avoidance of that, we are happy for Dr. Peter Obi, the former governor of Anambra State, for his appointment by Alhaji Atiku Abubakar as his running mate. We believe that he will bring tremendous value to that ticket, in spite of the many political sins of the PDP against Igbo, in particular, and the political and moral baggages of Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, who served as vice president for 8 years of the 16 years that the PDP abandoned the Southeast geopolitical zone. We are not impressed by Alhaji Atiku Abubakar's rhetoric on restructuring. When PDP, his political party, does not believe in it and has made no commitment to the Nigerian people on the vexed matter of restructuring. It took a fleeting moment of exasperation by the governor of Rivers State, Chief Nyesom Wike, just before the Port Harcourt National Convention of the PDP, in which Alhaji Atiku Abubakar emerged as presidential candidate, to blot out that Alhaji Abubakar was not sincere and could not convince the people of the South that his rhetoric on restructuring was not a mere political gimmick to hoodwink the people of the area. We join Governor Wike by stating unequivocally that we can identify easily political 419 when we see one. Arising from our deep analysis and wide consultations, IGBOEZUE has resolved to collaborate with the United Progressive Party to chart the political way forward for Ndi Igbo in Nigeria. Consequently, IGBOEZUE is in total agreement with UPP in its revolutionary agenda as encapsulated in the party's manifesto and objective principles of its constitution concerning restructuring, self-determination of Nigerian ethnic nationalities, referendum, devolution of power, state police and community policing, unconditional release of prisoners of conscience, etc. While holding these principles sacrosanct, we also align with UPP in its wise decision to endorse and adopt President Muhammadu Buhari as presidential candidate for 2019 election. We will do everything within our power to ensure that Ndi Igbo do not put their eggs in one basket, either now or in the future. We shall work for the completion of President Buhari's second term in office in order to pave the way for a patriotic Igbo man or woman to be elected president of Nigeria in 2023. In this regard, we strongly believe that 4 more years of President Buhari's government is by far better and more bearable than the possible 8 years of Alhaji Atiku Abubakar administration, which will bring back to our people the sad memories of 16 years of PDP emasculation of Ndi Igbo. We are conscious of the truth that the PDP has not made any form of commitment to the restructuring of Nigeria, or the much desired Igbo president of Nigeria anytime in the future. Anything the party says now will definitely be an afterthought. Ndi Igbo, be wise. Food for thought. A. Head or tail, the North will produce the next president of Nigeria who is a Muslim, a Fulani, and in his 70s. At the close of 2019 general election, the North will still produce the president of Nigeria. B. The Southwest leaders are almost equally represented in the two frontline parties, the APC and PDP. Whatever is the outcome of the 2019 general election, the Southwest shall still be a critical factor in government. C. The North Central remains part of the North. At the worst, the zone will be like the Southwest in the scheme of things post-2019. D. The South controls the administrative lever of both the APC and the PDP, as in Comrade Adams Oshomole, National Chairman of the APC, and Chief Uche Secondus, the National Chairman of PDP. The South is well positioned to be comfortable in the post-2019 government. We wish to leave the pitiable situation of the Southeast to rational Igbo people to evaluate and decide for themselves what they wish to do. IGBOEZUE is resolutely committed to joining hands to mobilize all extant Igbo associations nationwide to reposition Igbo political engagement with the rest of Nigeria. The Igbo political narrative must change for the better. We cannot continue to blame others for obvious self-inflicted injuries. In this political game, Ndi Igbo must move some of their players out of our unenviable defensive wall to build up the midfield and to score vital political goals. The time is now. Well, gentlemen of the press, I'm all yours now for the slaughter.